Hey guys, I'm Ark, and I love Absolver. I think the systems in place make this game really special among other fighting games. But before getting into Absolver's positives and negatives, this video should give you a brief overview of the game and its mechanics. While I try to offer a pretty objective view of the game, I may be a bit biased towards liking Absolver, so please take what I say with a grain of salt. So Absolver is an online fighting game where the player fights their way through a map with zones that are interconnected by paths similar to the map seen in Bloodborne or Dark Souls. Within this map are a handful of mini-bosses, a few bosses, and regular NPC enemies that you will get to fight along the way. If you're playing in offline mode, these are the only enemies that you'll face, but if you choose to play online, you can either fight or cooperate with other players along your journey. This world really is a sort of tutorial for the real meat of the game, the combat trials, which, as of recording this video, contains two modes, a traditional 1v1 match and a 3v3 capture the zone mode. So with the overview out of the way, let's get into the mechanics of the game. Other fighting games, such as Injustice 2 for example, have set combo strings that a character can perform. And in order to block these combos, the defending player must accurately predict or react to the direction that the attack is coming from. In most cases, this corresponds to high, medium, and low attacks. Absolver, on the other hand, allows players to create their own combos by offering a large variety of attacks to choose from. These combos are created by assigning moves to the four stances in the game: Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, and Southwest. For each of these four stances, a player is able to assign a 3-hit string to the square button and one alternative attack to the triangle button. By crafting a combo that transitions between stances, a player is effectively able to make endless combos according to their liking, which allows for quite a lot of freedom in playstyle. Now, in regards to defending against attacks, Absolver presents the player with plenty of choice as well. There are 3 styles, or classes, available at character select in Absolver, and common to all of them are the ability to guard and dodge. Guarding allows the player to block against all attacks from any direction, but causes their stamina to drain when hit. Dodging, on the other hand, allows the player to reposition themselves during the fight, costing them some stamina per dodge. Forsaken is the first style, and allows the character to parry, which completely blocks an attack and briefly stuns the opponent. This parry can be done by pushing the right analog stick either to the left or the right, and, if timed correctly, can block an attack coming from the corresponding direction. The second class, Cult Method, allows a player to absorb an attack using the right analog stick, taking the damage of a hit, but dismissing the stun effect that the attack would have. If the player is able to counterattack within a short time of absorbing a hit, they are able to heal back the damage of the hit that was absorbed. The final class, Windfall, gives the ability to avoid attacks, which dodges and briefly slows down the opponent's attack. This is done by pushing the analog stick up, down, left, or right to dodge in that direction. Once you finish the game, you are able to unlock an additional style known as Stagger, which is a little different from the other 3 styles. Tapping left, right, or back on the right analog stick causes the player to do a short dodge in that direction, followed by a weak attack. Tapping forward will cause the player to do a charging attack that can take one hit without being interrupted. I really feel like it's the combination of the player-made combos, along with these distinctive style-specific defensive abilities that make Absolver so fun. In other fighting games, a character may have a few parry or absorb-like abilities, but in Absolver you're able to combine your favorite fighting style with your favorite defensive style. I personally find parry mechanics in other fighting games to be extremely satisfying, but also find a lot of enjoyment in rushdown characters, so I usually have to make the choice between the two. But in Absolver, I'm able to create a fast-hitting deck while using the Forsaken's parry ability for defense, effectively combining my 2 favorite elements of fighting games. To me, it's this freedom of choice that is the strongest draw for Absolver, and it's why I enjoy playing it so much. There's also a surprising amount of depth here when you consider that you can find and equip gear for your character in order to change their offensive and defensive stats. You can level up your character with attributes that will heighten your combat prowess. You can unlock new attacks by effectively defending against the move you're trying to learn and then defeating your opponent. and that you can time your attacks to gold link them, making them hit faster than normal. While I'm not going to go in depth on each of these systems, there are some great videos that I've linked in the description below that will help explain them. Of course, this doesn't mean that Absolver is without its faults. While the map can be really beautiful to explore, it does suffer from some pretty bad FPS drops when moving from one zone to the next, and when another player enters the same area that you are in. And while this isn't too much of a problem, it has led to the occasional death. The world also isn't too big, which can cause the experience to be quite short if someone decides to play Absolver completely offline. The biggest problem I had while playing was trying to read the map correctly and find my next target. While you are able to see your current location at each altar, the game doesn't do a great job of orienting you other than showing you your overall location. And since Absolver has no in-game minimap or ability to fast travel between altars, this makes it a bit of a chore to find the path you need to take. However, since the map is relatively small, this can be remedied by memorizing the paths, but it is an inconvenience nonetheless. Even with all its faults, Absolver is one of the most exciting and customizable fighting games I have played to date. And since it only takes up a reasonably small amount of storage space, it's one of the games that I'll keep installed on my PS4 for the foreseeable future, when I feel like trying to outplay an opponent. So if you think that Absolver seems interesting, it is free on PS Plus for the rest of July 2018, and I think it's definitely worth a try. I want to thank you all for watching, and hope you have a great day.